I'm sure you've all complained about the internet speed before. So I'm here to talk about the FCC and its plans to do away with net neutrality in its entirety. Not only will your internet speeds be slower, but you'll have to pay more too. I'm here to hopefully persuade you to take a stand against the FCC and keep net neutrality the way it is forever. Today, I'll be talking about what net neutrality is, what it's like without it, the FCC's plans to abolish net neutrality, and the pros and cons of not having net neutrality at all. And finally, what you should be doing about it. So first, we should be talking about a brief definition of what net neutrality is. So basically, net neutrality is the concept in which internet service providers, or ISPs for short, are not allowed to infringe or take away from your internet experience at all. This constitutes things like slowing down internet speeds or blocking websites. So without net neutrality, internet service providers can do whatever they want with whatever they want with your internet speeds, and you can't do anything to stop. So, according to John Sprigman of NYU, consumers should care a lot about net neutrality because a lot of the competition that's alive and vibrant on the internet is the result of, or at least depends on, to some degree, the net neutrality regulations put in place. So the main people that want net neutrality gone are actually these big internet service providers. They're the ones in Congress lobbying against keeping net neutrality so that they can further their regional monopolies and their market share to further take advantage of their customer base. So now let's talk about why this is a problem and why it's mainly the FCC and their plans to do away with net neutrality. So the FCC is the Federal Communications Commission, or Committee, and they deal with all telecommunications services in the United States. This includes the internet. So what they're trying to do right now is switch the internet from a Title II telecommunications service to a Title I telecommunications service. So basically, Title I telecommunications services are not heavily regulated at all. That's what they're trying to put the internet on, and basically, ISPs won't have to be very transparent at all, and they'll be able to do whatever they want with your internet whenever they want. So this basically means no net neutrality. And Title II is very heavy regulations, equivalent to that of like a public utility, like water or gas. And ISPs prevent things from blocking websites or slowing down internet speeds. So this is what's enforcing net neutrality in its current state right now. So the internet for a long time was actually a Title I telecommunications service until ISPs started abusing their power and taking advantage of consumers by charging them more and slowing down their internet. This is when the FCC itself enacted the 2015 Open Internet Order, which reclassified it to Title II, which it is today. So from the Open Internet Order on transition.fcc.gov, ISPs cannot unreasonably interfere with or unreasonably disadvantage the ability of consumers to select, access, and use lawful content applications and services, internet services to make lawful content applications or services. So basically this is kind of restating what I stated before, but these are only some of the regulations that the Open Internet Order and Title II classification entails. So let's talk about the general effects of abolishing net neutrality and like the pros and cons of not being there. So without net neutrality, ISPs will essentially have free reign over the internet. They can slow down websites, they can charge internet services any amount of money to keep the same speed that they've been going in, and this ultimately raises prices for consumers. Another thing they've been doing is blocking services that compete with their own products. One good example of this is Netflix's deal with Comcast. So according to Sam Gusson of Time, in 2014, Netflix was charged a large premium by Comcast to keep the same level of internet speeds for their consumers. Essentially, since Netflix is such a huge online video streaming service, it was cutting into the profits of Comcast's cable and television programming. So what Comcast did was charge Netflix extra money so that Netflix also then had to charge their subscribers extra money to use their service. So, critics of net neutrality argue that less regulation by not having net neutrality means a freer market in general. Since most regions only have one or two ISPs, this does not hold true. Those one or two big ISPs usually are out for the same reasons, and that they want to take advantage of the consumer, and they basically have regional monopolies / oligopolies of wherever they're providing internet. The other main qualm with net neutrality is that critics state that a lot of internet investment in infrastructure has gone down since the Open Internet Order, which reclassified it to Title II. And this is actually quite the opposite. From the Internet Association, there has actually been a 5.3% increase in telecommunications investments in 2015. And in 2016, there's been a total of $250 billion invested into broadband infrastructure. So, now that you've seen all the pros and cons of not having net neutrality, I hope that you can take action against the FCC by calling your own state representatives and local government representatives to fight against these net neutrality abolishment motions in Congress. By talking about exactly what net neutrality is, how the FCC is going to abolish it, and what your life would be like without it, I hope I persuaded you to take action against the FCC in general. Thank you. Alright, how long was that?